Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Centauri Let's Play. For those new to my channel, check out the series in the beginning. Check out my other playlists. For those returning, welcome back. So, here I've been doing a lot of micro, unfortunately. I'm going to have to bring myself to hand over more stuff to the governor later, but this is actually the kind of phase the micro I actually like, where I'm pop booming and the bases are growing rapidly. I can see returns on investments very quickly. And just the, I don't know, size of of my population is growing. It's kind of satisfying to me. Of course, it is coming with eco damage starting to mount. As more tiles get worked and more minerals produced. So, ain't perfect. World Health Organization, which has a Trans Crash, doesn't need the Golden Age to pop boom. Like almost, well, I think all my other bases solely one with the Crash. It'll eventually be redeveloped as a research center with a network node and a research hospital. And have complex then push over that pop limit even with some colony pods probably. A lot of the surrounding tiles be turned into land tiles. Probably raise this up. Could raise this even. Well, raise this and then raise this. I don't know. I could create a narrow outlet to the sea. Raise up train going this way anyhow so that I can get this other energy resource above the sea and dig a borehole into it. So I got plans and, more land around headquarters here. It's not terribly located. There's this whole continent, but there's also this one, apparently unoccupied, so I'll definitely land colony pods there, and this one, which I'll eventually go to war with the believers. I don't know. It's more central than I like to admit, and also there's also possibility of extending land out this way. So at some point though, might set resettlement agency, especially because I could cross the sea. The bases here before the Gaians get their borders all the way to the ruins, or some of the. Well, none of these are islands; they're just little peninsulas. Well, there's an island there. We'll see how it works out. So this will be probably a quicker video. I'm having some seriously problematic GI issues with long COVID today. Very stressful. And then I'm doing Age of Wonders 3 multiplayer Let's Play with Joe a little bit later. Let's see what's on my mind. Dave Trump's military parade came and went, and we didn't have martial law, at least for fascist takeover, which is not to say that the instinct that might be a risk was wrong, because it's not. There was leaks that might be a possible and such, just that Trump decided now was not the moment, which is true. It would have blown up in his face most likely, but yeah, the fascists are still trying to plan a takeover. There's no doubt of that. I'm reminded of a song, a Chumbawamba song, The Day the Fascists Died. I was just listening to it. YouTube recommended it to me, actually, on a mix. A long time I watched it. It goes something like, they say the prisoner of Sender was a symbol of defeat. But they all came out of, and it's something about how the fascists are all, they say the fascists are all gone, but then they all came out of the woodwork the day the fascists died. It's a song inspired by this famous Nazi who died, and there were all these Nazis who just came out of the woodwork to attend his funeral in like 1970. Because there's still a lot of them lying low in Germany and throughout the world. I mean, the CIA helped protect a lot of them from the State Department, which was trying to hunt them down after World War II. A great example of the left hand and the right hand not knowing what the other is doing. That metaphorical, I mean, that's a biblical metaphor, but it kind of fits. An interesting conversation with my mother. Also, she is. I have to talk with parents on this time of year, Mother's Day, Father's Day. She is a great example of a person with no freaking class consciousness or clue of history. So I always get the most ridiculous like quotes and claims from her every time. She can reliably be counted on to say the dumbest, most ignorant things about history and the world we live in. And great example of that. We were talking. I was talking with her about the No Kings protest. I'm like, this is a fucking stupid name, and I'm not the only person who thinks it. Trump is not a threat of being a king. He's a threat of being a dictator. This isn't monarchism. He's not going to create the Duke of Boston and the Duke of Chicago and the Duke of New York and the Earl of wherever the Foxville. Excuse my language. He wants to make himself a fascist dictator. I'm like, they could call it no dictator or no tyrants or no fascists. And she's like, fascists don't have symbols. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? The two-headed eagle. Well, that's not a fascist symbol, presumably, because she's seen the way that some militarists use it, and that doesn't understand that that's actually very commonly a fascist symbol, the two-headed eagle. Although there's some overlap with monarchists on that one, which is also freaking fitting. It was originally a Roman symbol, so the Mussolini, the original fascist, loved to put that symbol up everywhere. And I'm like, the rod and litter, the two-headed eagle, the freaking like, uniforms of the fascists. Oh, those aren't symbols. I'm like, there's a reason people wear uniforms and they wear these weird like brown shirts, black shirts. And I'm like, the Nazi salute that Elon Musk and Trump both did. You think that's not a symbol? She either doesn't understand what symbols mean, or she's being intentionally obtuse. Likely 6 of one, half dozen of the other. That is, well, actually, that usually means two things are the same. She's being a little both. Intentionally obtuse and doesn't really understand what a symbol is in political terms, but yeah, well, I guess it can always be counted to say the stupidest fucking things. I have to deal with my father, calling my father, say, yeah, my mother can reliably count on to just go with whatever the Democratic Party does. And this No Kings is very much a Democratic Party thing, and just defend it to the death. And that's partly because she identifies, like Trump as my father, like as the same personality in her mind, kind of the same person. It's ridiculous because my dad was abusive shit. And I have to call my dad on Father's Day and make all nice and pretend like he didn't do all these horrendous things because he's a dangerous person, unfortunately. And I avoid him for the most part. Being antagonistic with him is not safe either. So I keep my distance from the prick. I've come to increasingly see maybe my mother really was as much of a shit as he claims sometimes. To him doesn't justify any of the stuff he did, just that both my parents. I mean, there are people who, mom once quoted this person who said they deserved each other, and she's like, this is ridiculous. She's just outraged. I'm more and more convinced that person, had it had hit the nail on the head. She just can't see herself accurately. She treats people very narcissistically. My dad's worse in that regard, so they're very much similar. She just, narcissists eat each other. So because she was the victim, with that. She thinks that she can't be the victimizer anywhere else. It's like the freaking Zionists who think that because, the Holocaust happened, that Jewish people can't be guilty of committing genocides now. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, being of a particular religion is not a guard against, doesn't make you impossible for you to do horrible things as well. In fact, victims often become the victimizers in history. All right, so I got a police infantry here. I need one in hydrology council's turn, don't I? Yeah. Uh, so that the next drone will be suppressed. Otherwise, I'll end up with 4 talents and a drone. Because the game prefers to uplift workers rather than uplift drones. Which is probably commentary on inequality and not investing in the poor. Got a police infantry here. Eh. Uh. Hmm. These guys are gonna go here. Fill in behind these police infantry who are gonna make their way to headquarters, so I could golden age it. They already have enough talents. They just need to suppress the drone. And this will allow the base to boom at this size and boom 8, so boom all the way size 9. Just having a police infantry unit. So go here this turn. Let's see. So when this grows again, it'll be size 5, so it'll be 2 talents and a drone. And the site will turn a drone to a worker, so I have nothing else can apply to. Police will turn another drone to a worker, and then Secret Project to create a 3rd talent. Yep, 3rd talent at that point. So this won't be creating a second. Yeah, so as long as I have even just a scout patrol, the golden age continues, and next turn I can upgrade this to police infantry so that the space can stay in a golden age. Not just to at size 5, but also at size 6, so it can boom all the way to size 7. Alright, hate that the G doesn't automatically disappear when you click and drag. Game was meant to be played with numpads, but it's kind of a hassle with a mouse. I don't know. Some shenanigans it was going to pull here with the 2 transports. I'm just trying to remember what it was so I don't mess it up. Got the 2 warmers there. It's did a condenser. Space grows again. I'll need to work. Probably that flat, rainy river tile just so the base can boom one more time. Although, shoot, they'll have a drone that's not suppressed, won't they? Oh, I just need to assign a doctor. Okay. No, that won't be enough. 1 doctor. We'll still have another drone that doesn't get suppressed annoyingly. Yeah, base needs Bet this could probably act as a technician. Be the same. Need a technician and a doctor. Cool. So it'll be the same except the police will. Alright. Matter of fact. Yeah, I can orient them however you want. I don't know, I consider a doctor in a way more privileged than a technician. Even the outline is similar to a talent for the doctor, not for the technician, but the base needs more nutrients to keep growing like this. I did that. I think it's gonna have to happen. The base is gonna have to grow. Size 6 drop out of Golden Age, and they'll be able to reassign it into one. At that point, I'll be able to turn a worker to a doctor. And the psych will be forced to turn a drone into a worker. Police will deal with the next two. Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to. That would apply if I did this. That would be fine. Oh, this is a police unit. That's what I'm missing. This can suppress 2 drones. I'm fine. So it just needs 1 doctor. Okay. Okay. Whoopsie daisy. Stop selecting stuff across the map. Stupid. I'll decide where I want to focus my efforts and when. Hmm. Space is going to boom again. It's got police, so should be able to stay in Golden Age. This nutrients are going to be the real tough thing. Next, I'll have to work these planes for a bit. I'll have to work that. So at the mine, it's a pure nutrient production. Go to Hydrology Council. Can't boom if you don't have the nutrients. I'll need a proper police infantry here, which is right. But yeah. Fascists have so many symbols. So many symbols. It's ridiculous. And for someone to say they have none is insane. It just shows a willful blindness. Someone who's probably seen these symbols all the time and not even been aware of it, or is in utter denial. I mean, you see it with like these Nazis who go around with the number 88 shows up way too often. It's like hidden all over the place. That number is a literal Nazi call symbol. It refers to Hitler. I'm not gonna even say what it means. You see it with two-headed eagles. You see it, of course, with swastikas and shit. Just everywhere. And Nazis are very much coming back. I have to deal with this shit all over again. Society. Might not have had to if we'd actually treat the Nazis as a defeated foe after World War II instead of CIA, as I said, Operation Paperclip, and all these Nazi propagandists were shuffled into the U.S. Midwest and used to produce anti-communist propaganda for generations. Well, generations in that they had kids and grandkids and they were still doing it. Many, many decades. And they raised their kids as little Nazis, some of them. So that's one of the ways that the ideology hung on. Like the rot it is. I could bring this police infantry into Alluvial Council. Take this one out of Alluvial Council and send hydrology. Got one of them support from Maritime Command. Let's go. Patrol's made its way across the map. Kind of ridiculous. This base is stuck at size 4. I mean, it can golden age the base. The problem with doing that is there's no nutrients to grow it. Now, if I had a kelp farm or two, I could actually grow the base. But not yet. Eventually this will grow, but it takes time. 2 kelp spreads, and actually I might need 3. I might need 2 kelps to grow. My population is outpacing my terraforming. I want to get this alien artifact to safety quickly, but what I need to do is this. Maybe I'm screwing up or being dumb, but maybe not. This can walk the rest of the way there. And this can just walk right to here. Support from monitoring agency. Just working on a missile squad. I don't need to change the support, I don't think. reverse switch being supported by UNHQ. Yeah. What up? Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me. Could one turn a farm here? Or transfer one of the farmers and get it started on a farm here right away. It's rolling. Yeah, because I don't have trouble with the nutrients for the next growth. I need a farm there. I can put the transport here. So next turn, farmers can load right onto it. And get out to one need house adjacent to here, but probably one of these because the hydrology council also is really tight. Oh, whoops. Mr. Me looked at that and you're like, why is he unassigned the mine? There's no reason to unassign the mine at all. Work it here. Work these tiles here. Work that one. I can get a farm here and a farm here. I can grow the base very quick. Alright. I know what I'm doing now. Shoot. I meant to unload the artifact before I did that. I know what I'm doing here. Shoot. Oh, wow. Doesn't have to send the base. It's probably equally secure where it is. Is this going to go boom, boom to monitoring agency either way? It's almost equally secure either way, except for this being close to the fungus on this side. Actually, there's 2 tiles in between here. Yeah, more or less identical. And boom. Or even go that way so it gets to this road right away. It's actually smarter. Boom, boom, boom. Get here. Make it all the way to UNHQ. Save us a place for an artifact. Cool. A little more clutter than I like, but not really a problem.
Terraform complete.
Useful this turn. So next. I want to improve this tile, so 2/3 of movement here, and the formers can get, one of the formers can get ran the transport, which can go here. Okay, so we start on a farm there. Other, I guess, can go here for another farm, maybe. Higher nutrient output tiles allows, our proportion of doctors allows me to boom to larger size, so that's what that's all about. And this is the only thing I can complete this turn. Doesn't matter if I put a farm here or here, I'm gonna have to work both tiles. Alright, bet this was safer for my worms than this. Oh, I have another former here. That's right. Yeah, these were going here, weren't they? Yeah. I can work with that other former. No reason to stack just yet. Take a slightly safer route here. Go there. Let me get you guys by the lyrics. The lyrics to that song, by the way. Sorry, this song is just stuck in my head, and maybe it's a little more entertaining than watching my micro hearing me attempt to sing for a moment. You'll understand why I'm not a singer, but a YouTuber. Well, I'm only a YouTuber because I'm on COVID. Otherwise, it'd be a physician, or well, actually, I think I calculated I'd be a third year medical student, or between third and fourth years at this point in my life. I think I'm on COVID. Very old medical student, but whatever. We're told that after the war, the Nazis vanished without a trace. But battalions of fascists still dream of a master race. The history books, they tell us of their defeat in 45. Course, but they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So you hear the audience sometimes sing along to that one part. They say the prisoner Spandau was a symbol of defeat, while Hess remained in prisons and the fascists they were beat. So the promise of an alien world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? World is riddled with maggots. The maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, they'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down, they're peddling racist lies. And will never rest again until every Nazi dies. Yep, that is. And other songs that were suggested included Bella Ciao, which is another famous anti fascist song about, well, the Italian anti fascist resistance, hanging Mussolini and such at the end of World War II. Appropriate. That song is punk culture, very much. And here's the thing. I say this as someone who's been tangentially associated with a number of punks. They are the most anti-fascist people in the world. They will always stand up against these bastards. I remember I had an EMT instructor, very much a punk guy. He sometimes tell the class in downtime about his young days getting in street brawls with neo-Nazis. Because, yeah, the neo-Nazis are still out there, and they're still, as the song says, burning down houses and peddling racist lies. But it's like YouTube. I mean, their algorithm is probably getting better at predicting people's state of mind after which it shapes with other things it showed you. So I recently watched a thing about the tragedy of the commons argument. Literally that phrase was popularized by a neo-Nazi ecologist, except not really respected ecologist, who wrote an article in Science in the 70s about the so-called tragedy of the commons. He always look at where someone else publishes. This guy also published in a number of far-right magazines and talked about the supposedly lower IQ of black people and forced sterilization. He was a neo-Nazi. Neo-Nazi who popularized this bullshit argument that has become commonly thought of as an argument against socialism, even though it was actually not about communism, socialism at all. It was an argument about eugenics. That was soft pedaled, and in Science a lot of the eugenics stuff was not put in, but also it was, I think it was in the editorials section of Science. People, I think it was, they have, peer-reviewed articles. This wasn't a peer-reviewed article. There's Science editorials, just like there's Nature editorials. Still, they tend to be, there's a certain amount of authority given by being given the opportunity to publish in their editorials. So they should have been more careful. Or maybe it was intentional letting this asshat publish in Science. I want this here. Do I dare try move south? Probably not, but if this rover uncovers another mine worm, I don't want to lose this rover handily. Or if it, maybe I'll just risk the hardened one, but this can clean up the mess if this dies. I suspect this won't have enough health left to get 2 moves, so I want it here. Could have just left on that tile. Either way, suppose there's a chance if of not taking enough damage, and then it'll have one move left to go to that tile. You know what? No. This is dumb. If nothing appears, and I want this to have its full moves to heal up in that base. That's fine. I did see that there was nothing there. Doesn't hurt to get the intel on tile. Alright, this scout patrol is off to act as police for resettlement agency eventually. And can share in this, so I mean it could take over the nutrient resource for a while, which give it 4 nutrients, but also stop blue accounts from growing further. First growth, 12 nutrients. God, it's not a perfect way to do this, to say the least. Maybe I just want to do this. Or, yeah, the police will still deal with the next drone. I don't need a doctor. Technician will do. As long as I pull a specialist as worker, so psych reduces it, raises a drone instead of creating another talent I don't need. That's the key thing. So yeah, technician instead of doctor. I'm putting this up to size 7. Space can focus on minerals at first, I guess. Or some agency. It's not going to boom for a while. This police unit will, I mean, maybe the scout patrol will help hunt my worms until then, if it survives that long. Whoops. Oh, I know. I was supposed to unload the artifact, get it here, and get it right onto this transport. Alright, well, since I don't want to go all the way back and repeat all that, I know I could do that. I'm gonna hate me for this. Kind of save scum this, to get the same outcome of so that's a 2/3 chance. Oh, wait. That's dumb. I won't even bother with that. The artifact is not gonna, I'm not gonna have a network know that, so I'll actually use the transport for a rover. Get it to the front. Much smarter move. A lot of units here. army to help with the condenser. These formers. Borehole's not a terribly high priority, though. Probably get a whatever I'm gonna do on that rolling rainy tile done. Farm condenser, maybe? Maybe just to farm it first. Maybe a road, then a farm, actually. So the other farmers don't have to waste a turn coming out here. Yeah, that's a smart move. Usually boom this by reassigning pops. Let's get that place unit in position. I should be able to have the farmer go ahead and build a road out here. For all those farmers to where I'll raise the terrain. Again, to save farmer turns. Concentrate this many farmers in one place. Right. Maybe I don't want a road here, though. It doesn't actually save farmer turns. I spend 2 to save 2. Increases eco damage. UNHQ also has a little, but here are the economics that least benefit the road. Right. Flat rainy tile. Make a fine borehole if I just lower the terrain. It's gonna reduce the value of some potential solar panel sites. These would be fine. I'll actually only hurt this north. That's no big deal. It won't even benefit from that until I lift the energy restrictions. Excuse me. Move the fungus. Think about Nazis and using a fake German accent there. You should not. Not all Germans are Nazis. In fact, I know some very lovely ones who are very anti-fascist. I mean, obviously that's actually more of a specifically East Prussian accent, which is the area around Berlin, which is where the Nazis had a lot of their support. Um, they were never as popular in like the Ruhr Valley, where historically Germany had a lot of communists in the Ruhr Valley, and SPD people weren't KPD were SPD there. It's very left wing working class area that was the heart of what little resistance existed to Nazis in World War II. So there's geographical divides. But anyways, not even everyone. Even though today you have the AFD, which is the neo-fascists, making a resurgence specifically in East Prussia. So that area still is a hotbed of fascism. It's still not fair to everyone there. There's some very good people who are opposed to them, including members of Die Linke, because the only real opposition to fascist land is usually socialists. The liberals will pretend to be shocked and hate it, and then they'll get on board with it. Just like so many members of the Democratic Party have made weak-kneed opposition to Trump. There have been some who have been sincere in their opposition, but many who have not. Are perfectly comfortable. They don't really like the fascists, but they're not as shocked or dead set against it as people of real decency would be. The world is full of maggots. The maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're at the burning house and spreading racist lies. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. That's a song about the death of Rudolf Hess, I think it was, by the way, who there's a lesson there in his. A lot of Nazis were given the death sentence, rightfully so for their horrendous crimes, but Hess got off easy. Hess just got life in prison. And the real reason he did is because of his connections to wealthy German industrialists. He was very much the member of the Nazi ruling elite, like Hitler's inner circle. If you play Hearts Iron 4, he's literally a member of Hitler's inner circle, which is the game mechanic in that game, but it's historically accurate. He's one of Hitler's closest advisors, and his role was to coordinate Hitler's policies with the super wealthy business owners in Germany. So, because of his connections to basically billionaires, he got off easy with just life in prison when he should have received the firing squad like other war criminals, Nazi war criminals did. Hess was an utter piece of just human garbage. He was very complicit in the Holocaust. Not nearly enough bad things can be said about him. Mm. Alright, this needs to heal. This needs this police infantry. Uni rover. There's another one here, I think. And single recon rover that can hunt mine worms. Probably should have actually transport this instead of the alien artifact. Not transport. Let's slightly more mine worm hunting. Oh well. screw-ups happen. This lake is actually a slightly better place to hunt mineworms because you can go 1, 2, 3 and be adjacent somewhere it's not in the fungus again. It's here. 1, 2, 3 now, unless you're going to end up way out here. Well, I guess border agency is going up very soon. Here's the next calling pod. That song about that lyric about making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats, by the way, it's a reference to the complicity of business owners and the high bourgeoisie in Marxist terms in fascism. Alright, it's gonna boom again now. It's gonna need another doctor. Why is this what it looks like? Oh, because that draws from... Shoot. I miscalculated on the psych. Because it's got enough... Unless... Nope. Darn it. Unless... Nope. Not enough psych. Yeah, the complicity of the bureaucratic class and billionaires, the bosses and the bureaucrats in fascism. Because it serves their interests, especially, not really the bureaucrats so much as politicians. Bureaucrats are like, people actually manage the government bureaucracy, and I've seen no arguments make any sense that any of them have anything to do with fascism, but politicians find it useful. Divide and conquer, especially right-wing politicians, use racism to stoke division in the electorate so they can get elected. Dog whistle politics and such. Nixon, for instance, his campaign started working with neo-Nazis in the 70s. Not neo-Nazis, actual Nazis, like from Nazi Germany, have been smuggled over the CIA until his chief of staff or Nixon himself found out about this, and at least to his credit, Nixon and whichever that was, when the White House itself found out that the campaign was working with the Nazis, they said, no, this will not stand. They kicked the Nazis off, except then the campaign secretly continued to work with these people on a lower level, which implies that really they didn't want to be openly seen working with them. Though it could have been local organizers who just considered those people valuable assets and were unwilling to follow the directors in the top. It's an interesting bit of history to dig into, but it's a fact that it happened. It's also a fact that Nixon, the White House, told to stop. Though, as I said, you can call into question how sincere that was. were like out in Michigan or something, and they were campaigning for Nixon. But the reason why was because of Nixon's dog whistle politics about black people. That very much worked for the fascists. They were willing to help spread racist hatred. Right, so I actually need the Scout Patrol upgrade immediately. Guess base will have to. Oh wait, yeah, it grows to size 5 and it gets an extra talent. That's right. Which point this will qualify around. I'll be fine. Math fail. I should just be ready. In fact, I told him to tell me when he'd be ready, but sometimes it's a little longer than others. I have to get the Age of Wonders 3 multiplier. And part of the reason I'm chatting so much is there's just not much going on in this video, which is a lot of micro. So talking to you, my audience, maybe it'd be more interactive. It's like on Twitch. But on Twitch, you're expected to show your face, and I don't need neo-Nazis harassing me. I've received death threats on Reddit from neo-Nazis before. So, yeah. I'm a white male. I mean, it'd be probably worse if I was female or minority, but I have no doubt that with Trump giving these Nazis implicit support to do what they're doing more than ever, some of them would come out of the woodwork and threaten me. Twitch probably not even ban them or punish me for reporting them or whatever. They just like Reddit punished me for reporting a mod who was harassing me and for contacting other mods and saying this moderator is harassing me. Will you please take a look at what he's writing? The guy was freaking swearing at me. I did nothing to him, and he was confusing me with another user who has supposedly made very virulent statements against Israel. It's like, this wasn't me. Look at who said that. It was whatever number. That wasn't me. And the guy is still, oh, well, you're still arguing with me. I'm not the authority here. It's like, you're one of the people taking over the sub, a part of a pro-Israel group. I didn't say that, but he was very much not. There was a takeover of his sub by Zionists that had been critical of Israel. The whole reason how it happens because I told the guy who was swearing at someone else that he was being a troll. And the guy he was swearing at was anti-Zionist. That's a person who is defending Palestinians and criticizing Israel was being sworn at by someone. I told the person who was swearing that he was being a troll. And then the moderator banned me for reporting the guy who was swearing because I also reported the guy as well as telling me he was being a troll. And so I reported the moderator to Reddit because the guy was swearing at me and I did nothing except always say you're being a troll and then report the guy. And and this moderator was swearing at me and then saying I said stuff that again I'm like, I never wrote those posts. You're literally quoting, linking to posts by another user. Just disgusting behavior by Reddit, but they will side with the Nazis every time. And I mean, this guy was like, these cadre people were taking over this sub, were going around saying that like Palestinians should be mass murdered and stuff, like literal Nazis. Zion Nazis, but still Nazis. Ironic that there's this de facto alliance between like the white supremacist Nazis and the like Zionists murder the Palestinian Nazis. They're both working together and tolerating each other. Of course, that's not unprecedented. It happened during World War II as well, where the Italian fascists worked hand in hand with some of the early Zionists who wanted to set the state of Israel, going so far as to establish the Petard Naval Academy in southern Italy, which trained the first future naval officers of Israel. Because the initial Israeli military was set up out of Zionist militias, terror groups that had done like blown up trains and hotels and attacks on civilians. And these are the people who founded the initial government. It was a terrorist state from the beginning. Israel was never established by like peaceful. It was established by literal terrorist groups who had infamously blown up the King David Hotel, which is like a British command center in Palestine. And they blew it up, but it wasn't just military. There were civilians there because it was a hotel. They blew up the lobby of it. These were like hardcore terrorists. Um, Probably guard here. Put this here so it doesn't suffer collateral. Mine worm comes through. And the more you know about history, the more you realize like Israel Palestine is not a complicated issue at all. It's only complicated in how much evil shit the Zionists have been doing from the very beginning, how many excuses the West has tied itself into. Excuse it because it's literally a settler colonial project, mass murdering civilians and seizing land and committing ethnic cleansing and setting up an apartheid state. It's been doing that since the beginning. It's only gotten more obvious and more openly fascistic in recent times. I decide before. I probably wanted to risk the uni rovers a little bit. With my worm hunts. Because I get energy, that energy gets invested, the returns on investment get invested, so forth. And by the time I can get clean reactors, I can have multiple uni rover quality units. Actually, clean recon rovers, which are just better in every way than uni rovers, which are basically clean scout rovers. But they don't disband for as much as clean scout rovers in bases. So they're just worse. Sometimes they actually get support from bases. It depends where you pop them. Like where the pod they were in popped. Sometimes they're not even support free. Alright. Road curves north. Border agency will grow again. Become a lot harder to sign doctor, but it would have to not worth the borehole, so probably just let the base grow. Got a proper police unit. Scout patrolman will have to upgrade. Yeah, so I was looking at the probabilities of success here. It occurred to me, I think that slow probe team before had a 67% chance of success was hard, and this one has 50. And if I were to try and steal credits, and it's disciplined. And the one succeed in stealing the world map was veteran and became commando. So actually, I think the probability of success isn't going down. It's just purely based on probe team morale, which is interesting. Although it could go down for repeat missions of the same type, maybe. But if it isn't going down, that's even more reason to do the riskier missions so the probe teams can get to higher morale levels where they can do more missions at higher success rates. So, yeah. This also might be silly. Might not affect where they go back to, and there is one definite effect. And that's the lose morale if the base goes into a drone riot. So if the Spartan probe team showed up here and set off drone riot board agency, it would really hurt me. I may need to just not do that anymore. So base will boom again. Size 5 to 6 once there's a police unit. I set up a couple farms in these rain tunnels. I could get to size 7 with the doctor. Yeah, that farmer hub. Actually, I need just one farm then. Right. Need a 3 nutrient tile. And so there, but pretty sure the reason I didn't is going to go here, raise the terrain, and some of these tiles might pop up like moist at first, and then the condenser I'll know for sure. Go into rainy. This, and then there's this bit of fungus to remove. Guess I should just do a farm. I hate doing it on flat terrain. Do it next to border agency and have the farm solar panel tile. That'd still be 3 nutrients, 2 energy. I really need the energy. It's not terrible. For psych points, they don't have to run doctors so much. Give me a moment. Yeah, I'm almost out of time here, and also, I'm probably never going to work this tile except emergencies, but I'll leave. I'll probably set up a borehole here in this tile. It's flat and it's already eligible for one, and I'll have to lower like here. It would eventually enable another borehole here if I lowered this tile too. 2 levels. Suppose I could also do one on the forest instead of that. Well, forest in that road. Different ways to do things. I may as well just get a farm. Base can grow quicker. Proteins there. This will probably be the tile form I'll go to next. Or farm. It's rolling terrain, maybe a condenser. Yeah, because that's an arid tile. It's an arid, so the need condensers on them and next to them. They get to be rainy. Should probably defend that probe team. I'll think about that later, though. This has gone, hence why I was referring to the timing, a little too long. My thoughts are too unfocused, and I can sense GI issues a little bit coming on again. So I wish you all the best. Take care of each other. Kind yourselves. May always find getting started with you. Adieu.